Eyes worn by Diddy, like he had facial covering, bandana that was only showing he had a hat on, and bandana below here, so you couldn't tell. But they said he could tell by the voice. Also with Cassie, Cassie was wearing a wig. So Cassie was wearing a wig. Let me go up there. I could show you. So Cassie was wearing, here we go. Cassie was wearing, here we go. Hold on. Yeah. It says the man had a white robe on with a bandana over his face, below his eyes, and a baseball cap. From his voice, I recognized that it was Sean. It says she was in a room, that's Cassie, in a red wig, stockings, and sunglasses. So it looks like Diddy kind of understood that they had some incredible notoriety, but he was trying to get these kinks off with regular people and people who probably, were new, right? Because it doesn't seem like he was trying to have the same sex worker fuck her. It seems like he was like, he wanted new people to fuck her. But he didn't want them to know that's Cassie and Diddy. So she would wear sunglasses, a wig, and whatever to disguise her, and he would be like, which I ain't gonna lie, like, that's some crazy shit, but whatever. Yo, who tweeted this, man? Yo, Ellis Coat, man. Fuck you, nigga. Yo. Oh, boy, man. I love y'all. Though. It's all good. All right. Okay. We're still waiting on the next tweet. And I'll tell you where we see it. Okay. So now, here we go. Comey then says, what next? He said, are y'all ready to continue? AUSA says, did you try? He says, I don't recall. He says, did you see them again? He says, I thought I developed some sort of friendship with Cassie. I may have been speculating. Okay? All right, people. All right. We're here. It's 4:05. I think court is going to let out at 5:30 or 5. So this person might be sequestered to the next day to come back and finish off testimony. I think Brian Steele going to do a number. Brian Steele going to try to drop 35. He going to be balling. He going to be up in there just, you know what I mean? So we're going to see what he got to say. But this person is, remember, the feds are trying to prove sex trafficking. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to prove sex trafficking. And in trying to prove sex trafficking, they're trying to prove that these, what you might see later on video, we're not going to see, but it's going to be shown in court that Cassie was like fucking, super happy. They're saying, number one, she's off Molly. Molly makes people feel euphoric and make them feel a false sense of happiness. So that's number one. Number two, they're like, because she had to please this guy, or she was trying to please him, she looked like she was having fun, but she wasn't. She was actually being sexually assaulted, and also she was being coerced in a sex trafficking way. So in them trying to prove that, they're talking to the sex workers. Yo, so what happened? Say, yeah, nah, I would come over and do whatever. Yeah, I thought me and Cassie were cool, but I'm also seeing every time I'm around, Diddy saying shit to her like, yo, bitch, when I tell you to come over, you come over, okay, right? He said, bitch, when I tell you to come over, you come over. He said, I didn't know what to do. So they're kind of describing like this like controlling, forceful relationship where Diddy is talking to her so crazy, and Diddy is seemingly almost making her and forcing her to do these things, as opposed to it being like their kink and she wants to do it. So it's helped painting that government picture of, nah, this wasn't two freaky individuals that were swingers doing their thing. This was Diddy who was making everything happen. He would say, yo, listen, stop. Y'all not doing the role playing right. Fuck that. All right, just put your dick in her mouth, all right? All right, piss on her face. Or you'll be like, yo, stop, man. It's not enough baby oil. Yo, get the baby oil. You know what I mean? And also, the person is testifying and say, yo, well, we'd come over, and all of a sudden, we're like, yo, was other people here fucking this girl? Because the lube, the Astroglide, right? It's not full. It's not a new one. It's like a little bit, I don't know. So it looks like it's kind of setting up this idea that it's setting, yo, who the hell? Yo, stop trolling me, bro. Stop trolling me, chat. Where's this picture from? Why I look so mad? Chat, why I look so mad, though? Chat, why I look so mad in here? Y'all look so mad like Diddy ain't invite me, huh? Like, Diddy, why you ain't invite me, gang? You got everybody smashing cats, why you ain't invite me? I'm playing. Jokes. Okay, this is a serious case, by the way. Cool. So the dude says he thought he had some type of friendship with Cassie. The male dancer then says, I went there, I heard him slapping her. He walked out in a towel. She ran to me. I said, why are you staying with this guy? Donaldson, Xavier, says, objection. The judge said, what grounds? He says, this is hearsay. It says, overruled. The male dancer says, she said it was okay. Now, we don't know if this is the male dancer who is from supposedly the event at the Intercontinental Hotel, right? Because now we're hearing he walked out in a towel. So this might have been the actual sex worker in the room. So I was thinking they were off of this hotel incident. Looked like they found the sex worker who they believe was working in that hotel, fucking Cassie. And also they're saying that when the dude came in, the dude was probably noticing that there was lube that was open, and he felt like he wasn't the first person there, meaning that this was like an hour-long sex orgy, freak off, wild king night, whatever you want to call, and other niggas that came through to fuck Cassie before, and he witnesses Diddy slapping up Cassie. So it looks like this is still about the intercontinental shit. Holy shit. Okay. Somebody said hearsay is accepted in federal court. Not from my understanding. That's a grounds to object. But let me see. He said, I went there. I heard him slapping her. Yeah, this is his personal account. So you could say it's hearsay, but you're asking him for what he observed or heard. He walked out in a towel. She ran to me. And I asked, why are you staying with this guy? Now, I think the objection is meant to be he can't speak to why she was staying with him. That would be hearsay. I think that's what it would be. But he could tell his side. Now, if he was going to continue after that, say, well, I think she was staying with him for the money. That's hearsay, 100%. Get that out of here. You can't say that in court. So the ground was hearsay, but it was overruled. And the male dancer said, she said it was okay. Oh my God. Yo, could y'all stop? Y'all are polluting the feed, man. Y'all polluting the feed. We covering a serious case. This is not about me. I do still think I'm top 10 memeable person of all time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm definitely top 10 memeable person. Like, this was a great, yeah, look. Pause. Ooh, extra pause. Ew. That's gay. Felt like I was in the freak off just now, man. Pause. Anyway. All right, anyway, fuck. Yes, so somebody's right. So this was the guy in the room. Yeah, so it looked like they found the guy. Okay, we're waiting, chat. We're waiting. Aosei Comey says, nothing further. The judge is saying let's break before the cross. Okay? So there's going to be a cross. It looks like there's probably going to be a 10, 15-minute break, and they're going to allow like a 30-minute cross from the defense team, and then they're going to call it for the day. Okay? This is still an explosive day. We're finding out that Diddy had Cassie getting piss in her mouth. Bro, I ain't going to lie to you, bro. This is... Here's the thing. If I have to give my opinion about what I'm hearing, I'm not in court, by the way. I'm reading all these things. I'm kind of getting the energy from what other people are saying. The worst part about this case is the freaky shit. I still can't tell if maybe Cassie wasn't with this. It's just that everything I hear, I'm like, oh, why would you do that to a girl you like? And that's the problem for Diddy. Because to the normal people, if you love a woman, you wouldn't want another man peeing in her mouth. You wouldn't want different men just showing up, banging her out, dick all up in her stomach. You wouldn't, like, certain things like are abnormal. And I don't think that's evidence of sex trafficking. That's evidence of either weirdo behavior or evidence of a nigga who's a freaky ass nigga. However, sex trafficking kind of becomes, if you too freaky, you probably did that too. From the minds of a regular citizen. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be war when they're going to give out the jury guidelines to deliberation, because yes, everything we heard sounds mad freaky and like, ew, why would you do that? Like, ew, pee in her mouth, ew. Yo, these guys, like, he was telling these guys, like, no, they wanted to use a condom. Diddy would say, fuck that, no condom, fuck my bitch raw. That's what Diddy was on. Like, that kind of sounds like, bro, if you're doing that, you probably did sex traffic. But that's not necessarily the definition of sex trafficking. This is what makes this case really hard, because Diddy was doing so much kinky, weird shit to the regular public that it's easy to conflate with sex trafficking. And here's the thing, it's easy to assume these people weren't with it, because we're going to say, who the fuck wants to get pee in their mouth by random dudes? You know what I mean? I know some freaky bitches who lets you do some shit like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do know some bitches like that. But by some random dude, if you're the one screaming out, no fucking condom, and a woman has to put her health and everything at risk to fuck some random dude raw, it makes it easier for the point to be made that, no, these women and people weren't with it. Diddy did this against their will. Okay, I know they're going to come outside in a second, I think. Let's see. They're going to come outside in a second, I believe. And this update. So this next update, we're going to get supposedly like a little breakdown, but holy shit, man. Once again, we are sending our prayers for Tory Lanez. And by the way, this is one of the hotel guards who's saying, by the way, this is the guy now, Israel Flores. This is a drawing of him. And this is what he claimed. Supposedly, in the longer video, he comes out of the elevator and responds. This was on the 6th floor. He recorded the video for his wife, but apparently he didn't take the money. I know he feels stupid now. Somebody else took the money, and they took $100,000 supposedly, or at least a lot of money. This was the family, I think, coming back from lunch. I think this is the family coming back from lunch. Let's see. Who is this that's walking with the walker? By the way, chat, shout out to everybody on the King Akademiks page. We have over 17,000 people over there. We have 6,000 that's rocking in the Academy chat. And, of course, we have about 2,000 people rocking over at Rumble. And I believe we got like 1,000 over at Kick. Shout out to Kick, man, our newest platform. We just got on there. It's our 3rd day out here, tight shit. You know what I mean? Tight shit. Anyway, I think this is...
Lisa, how are you? It's TMZ here, sorry. Well, you look great nonetheless.
Yo, she turned away like, he didn't get away from me. Who is that?
Misa, how are you?
Now, Misa Hilton is I believe who's Misa Hilton? Misa Hilton. No, that's not Misa Hilton. Is it Misa? Diddy? That's the mother of Sean Diddy's, that's the mother of Justin Combs. Is she the one with a walker? Or is she this person right here? This is Misa right here, right?
It's TMZ here, sorry. Well, you look great nonetheless. It's good to see you.
Oh, this is Justin.
Don't block her way. If she needs to walk, create a space.
This gotta be Misa then, right? Yo, everybody, I would imagine this is some type of attorney or some type of somebody involved in law.
Misa, if you don't mind me asking.
Wait, I thought Misa was younger. How old? How old is Misa? Oh, she's 52. Okay. Oh, she has a walker?
Give us some more space. Back up, y'all.
Misa, if you don't mind me asking, what happened? You look good nonetheless, but is everything okay with you? Well, you look good.
It's a poke. It's a poke. What's the hell going on?
Give her space.
Clear that. Clear that.
This gotta be them coming back for lunch.
Stay back. Stay back.
Guys, just hold the line. Clear that. Clear that path. Clear the path.
P. Diddy Cole. Tell P. Diddy to give it to God.
Okay. Okay, people.
I think Mom talked.
All right. Let's get back to it a bit. I don't know how long that break was. It was supposed to be short. It should be like a water break. It shouldn't be lunch. So they should be back very expeditiously. Let's see. Okay, they took a break. This break is still continuing. Let's see if this has came back. Let me see. Let's go to law and crimes. Yeah, I don't know if there's enough time for the reporters to go outside and go live and shit like that. All right, here we go. Yeah. So this is outside. Doesn't look like people are going outside. Even though this is one entrance, there's another entrance too. Yeah. Wow.
Opening statements have a...
Let's start first with the government. They took about 45 minutes going through their opening statements. They said specifically, this is not a case about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. They instead allege that he drugged and threatened these women, that he kidnapped one of his employees over an incident. One specific night they began their opening statements highlighting this one specific night where they say that he was jealous of Cassie, and so that he essentially picked up one of his employees with his gun overnight and tried to find Cassie and a man that he believed that she was sleeping with. He said that he was going to kill this man, and this is part of the kidnapping part of these allegations. Then they say when they went through all of these different experiences that they are calling freak-offs, where they say that Sean Combs forced these women to have sex with male escorts over and over again, that he drugged them and that he kept them in hotel rooms for days, that he abused them, and that in order to keep the public from seeing these injuries, he also kept them in hotel rooms for days. And so that was the bulk of their testimony, going through each of these women, talking about the allegations in graphic detail and telling the jury that they are going to hear from them on multiple different issues. We're likely going to get this first witness today, and that is going to be a male escort. So we're going to hear about those incidents in graphic detail. They say we're going to watch some of these videos of alleged freak-offs, and that we are going to hear and see text messages and things of that nature, so we can see the real-time examples. Now, when Diddy's team got up, they started by talking about his history, and when they finally mentioned his name about 5 minutes in, he stood up. He was dressed in a gray sweater, black glasses, his mother, his children sitting behind him in the first row. He stood briefly as his name was mentioned, and for the entire time that these opening statements were going on, he sat propped up in his chair. He wasn't slumped back with his hands clasped in. He was leaning forward a little bit, really paying attention to everything that these prosecutors, the defense was saying, but also watching the jury directly. He positioned himself to be facing the jury in that moment. Now, what his team is saying is that he is a domestic abuser. He did assault these women. They are not negating that. But what they're saying is that that is not what these charges are, that beating up your girlfriend, beating up other people does not amount to sex trafficking, RICO charges, or transportation. They're saying essentially that his sexual preferences should be kept behind closed doors, that it is nobody's place to judge them, and that essentially anything that he did, while indefensible, is not part of these charges. So they're really trying to split the hairs here and say that you're going to see these horrible videos. You're going to see a lot of things that are really going to bug you to your core, but that you have to put that aside because they are saying that that is not what this case is about. They say Sean Combs has a temper when he drank and did the wrong drugs. He got violent. He was out of control. They say they're admitting that up front, that he's not charged, they say, with being a jerk or being mean, that violence is not part of these charges. And so it's really interesting how they are walking these lines, and they really tried to walk the line with blaming the victim in the beginning, in these opening statements. They didn't go that far, but they alleged that the women that you're going to hear from in this testimony, they say they're strong women, that they're women who had free will, that they could have left at any time. And they said that these women were able to get things from Sean Combs that they wanted. They essentially are saying this is all about money, that he paid their bills, he made sure they drove nice cars, lived in good houses, had spending money, went on private planes, on nice vacations. They're saying that they could have left at any time and that instead they were able to benefit from Sean Combs. And that's why even somebody like Cassie, who filed that suit first and was able to be paid, they are essentially criticizing her. Now, when we hear from Cassie, could be today, it definitely will be this week. She's one of the first few expected to testify. She is pregnant, and she is pregnant with her third child, something that they made sure to mention, that she's married to someone who Sean Combs introduced her to. So you can see how the defense is really going to try to weave this thread, essentially, that they say these women were willing participants in their own sex lives.
Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller in New York for us. That was a lot to get through. So much happened this morning. Thank you for being so detailed. It's like we were there with you in the courtroom. Thank you for your reporting. We look forward to talking to you all week as you follow this through.
Okay. Look like they're still on break. Yeah, they're still on break. It should be returning shortly, though. Yeah.
And that has a big impact on jurors. The everyday person sees that, and you're not covering up innocent behavior. You're not covering up non-criminal behavior.
Yeah.
And it's significant evidence.
Well, Tenny Garagos, who's his defense attorney, in her opening statement said, on bribery, this is about the Intercontinental Hotel. He paid a security guard to make the footage go away. This was solely to prevent bad publicity for Combs and for Cassie. There was no law enforcement investigation. What do you think about that?
Well, you got to be careful with that, because I'm not so sure that's true. If it is true, then it's a great argument. But it begs the question, the reason that there's no law enforcement investigation, because the tape went away and you shut her up. So if I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to have a lot to say about that, that it was everything about getting rid of evidence so he would not go to jail on a state court domestic violence case. And it would also allow the government to say, I heard the defense up here talking about how this is domestic violence. Well, there's a reason it didn't get prosecuted, because he got rid of all the evidence. And he shut her up. So, it's going to go back and forth like this for 2 months.
It really is. It really is. And we just got an update from court. So Mr. Flores says, and again, first witness of the Sean Combs trial. This is somebody who had worked at the Intercontinental Hotel as a security guard. He's currently a LA police officer. So he was a security guard at the Intercontinental back in 2016. He says, there I recognize Sean Combs. He is there wearing a gray sweater. The prosecutor asks, what was your title? He replies, Assistant Director of Security. The prosecutor says, let me show you a photo of the Intercontinental Hotel. The Flores says it's shaped like a pyramid, and that exhibit has been admitted. So they're using him to lay a foundation for some of the evidence that's going to be put forward here. I have a question from Alicia Velgos. Is Jennifer Lopez being subpoenaed?
Oh, that's
probably unlikely, right?
I can't imagine.
Because what would be the value of her testimony? What would she say?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't think J-Lo would be subpoenaed. If the freak-off started when he dated Cassie, clearly when he was with J-Lo, even if he was cheating, he had some more respect for her than trying to put her with random men who would pee or urinate in her mouth. Like, J-Lo seemingly wouldn't go for that. Also, the only reason why I would think that J-Lo would be subpoenaed or be in this trial is if they were really trying to look into Diddy having that gun in that New York City nightclub. Jennifer Lopez is integral to that story because supposedly she brought the gun in the club in her purse. And that would be important if she could testify to that. But we're not hearing anything about the 1999 club shooting or whatever it was with Diddy. All we're hearing about is the sex trafficking stuff. And it pretty much starts around the time he starts dating Cassie, which I believe is around 2006, 2007, or 2008. So it appears that all those other things, whether you want to think about Tupac getting killed, some people feel he got something to do with that. None of those things are coming into play. The only thing coming into play is Cassie, another woman named Jane Doe, and all the incidents that happened seemingly pretty much with women, and even the Lil Rod situation, which a lot of people have heard a lot about. He's in court, right? Suppose he's in court with his lawyer, but he's not seen or being called as a witness from what we know. He's not seen as a victim, and he's not being called as a witness. So we're going to see how that goes. By the way, they are in civil litigation. Diddy and Lil Rod, so maybe they have their interest there. So they're showing up to court. Also it's a good PR thing. We have a case with this motherfucker already. Let's show up to court. Who knows?
I don't think that's going to happen. It'd be great for us, but I don't think that's going to happen. It certainly wouldn't be great for Ms. Lopez. So I wouldn't anticipate. I think we would have heard about that one loud and clear pre-trial if that was happening.
It seems that the prosecution wanted to be very specific with how they charged this. I mean, if you look at all of the allegations Sean Combs has been facing in the last 2 years, year and a half, if they wanted to potentially charge him with everything into one case, I think we would need years to get through it. They're very specific in what they charged him with and also what they didn't charge him with and who they're going to call and who they're not going to call, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to open up the door to weak evidence or to weak allegations. You do it like they've done it with a silencer as opposed to a shotgun, because when you do it broadly and you do it with a kind of a broad-based brush, the defense can have a ball with it, cutting it to pieces. I think the way they've charged it is smart. Whether they've overcharged it with racketeering, we're going to find out.
Got a question from Vanessa. How long do you think the trial will last? We believe it's going to be 8 weeks, which is a significantly long time. I mean, tough for a jury to sit on any case, let alone a high-profile case like this, let alone with the evidence they're going to be seeing. 8 weeks. That's no wonder you needed 6 alternates, right?
I'm going to say something, though. We got a jury this morning. They opened, were into witnesses. I've had experiences, a lot of experiences in federal court as opposed to state court. Everybody has the mind and memory of the Simpson trial, which, lasted forever. It's a state court prosecution. Federal court cases don't go like that. And sometimes when they estimate 8 weeks for a federal case, suddenly 8 weeks turns into 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little less than the time period they're projecting.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. They're going to be taking off for certain holidays as well and things like that. And obviously there could be some issues that delay trial. 8 weeks, long time. Question from Kaylee. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing it. My question is if Sean Combs is found guilty, what does that mean for all that have been implicated? Do they get charged? Now, that wouldn't be the first time, Brian, that we see a prosecution of one individual first that potentially leads to the arrest and indictment and prosecution of other people.
Yeah, you do see it. You see it in cases where people are convicted and then they roll on other people. I don't envision that here. They had plenty of time to make decisions about charging other people. Unless something happens during this trial in the way of additional evidence coming in or witnesses making declarations that weren't anticipated, I'd be stunned if we got more people prosecuted out of this unless there was some kind of effort made on the part of Diddy after the fact if he were to be convicted to cooperate, which I don't anticipate at all.
By the way, Brian, the reason we're having this in-depth conversation right now as the court is in session and we're providing live updates, there are no cameras in federal court. Why are there no cameras in federal court? Why is there no audio? generally permitted in federal court. What's the rationale here when you have state courts across the country that do permit it?
Yeah, and I practice in a state court that doesn't. The federal courts just universally have a belief that cameras in the courtroom can have a disastrous effect on juries and courtroom proceedings. That jurors can be compromised, that jurors can be exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, and they're very protective of the jury system. The flip side of it is these are public trials, and particularly in cases like this where the public cares about it and wants to know, I've always had the view that they ought to be able to see it because people can be distrustful. And sometimes things happen behind closed doors that, jurors may benefit from the fact that there isn't any cameras, but people, the citizens, don't. So I don't think we're ever going to see it change. I wish it would. And for those state courts that don't have it, like Pennsylvania, I wish they would put the cameras in there so everybody can see how the sausage is made.
And we could see more of Brian McMonagle, because who doesn't want that at the end of the day? We all want to see Brian McMonagle a little bit more.
Well, that would be the reason not to, perhaps, but
well,
or my family would disagree with you.
So we have another update from court right now because it's currently in session.
All right. So I think they should be back out of that break. Are they? So note, during the break, the male dancer witness is named Daniel Phillip, not Phillips, as it first sounded like. The judge has now welcomed everybody back. It says, welcome back. It says jurors. So, but can I have a lawyers for a sidebar? So they're having a sidebar currently. Thank you guys for becoming members. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I really would appreciate if you guys can make an account. Just hit the subscribe button. You'll get notifications whenever I go live. We will be covering this daily, every single day, until we get a conclusion. They're saying it's going to be eight weeks. I really don't see this happening in 8 weeks. I think once they get out these main witnesses, which I don't know when they're going to trot them out, Cassie and Jane Doe, I think he's going to get wrapped up pretty soon unless Diddy takes the stand. I have no idea what his defense will look like. It looks like they're planning to call a bunch of character witnesses, but 8 weeks seems kind of exorbitant. There are going to be some federal holidays they're going to have to work around, but I think it's going to be a month to a month and a half. So 8 weeks would be 2 months. I think between 4 to 5. 4 to 5. Right? Now, I think the reason why they say 8 weeks, they might run into certain issues that need maybe a few days off of court, and the jury's going to be just told, stay home until we figure whatever out, especially when it comes to maybe videos and what's going to be barred, what's going to be allowed, how they're going to be describing certain things. That could be a problem. Also, we should know Brian Steele was just in one of the longest, actually the longest trial in Georgia history, which was a YSL trial. So he's kind of built for the marathon. We will see what happens next. So they're having a sidebar real quick. It's 4:24 p.m. When this happened. But they're having a sidebar. Usually court runs till about 5:30, latest 6. Remember, they started up at 8:20 today. So 8:20 they started up. So currently from 8:20 to 4:20, what's that? That's pretty much already like an 8-hour day, right? Now they did take an hour for lunch, so it's a 7-hour day. So we would imagine within the next hour or so, they're going to cut this shit. They're going to cut it, right? Somebody say he better get ready for 20 years. Damn, Cassie was drinking piss, getting fucked by multiple dudes a night. Wow. Somebody said Jane Doe is the Asian girl of Young Miami. Well, let's go to Gina. And Gina Hill, I always fuck up her name. This was her interview talking about Diddy.
Do you mind?
Remember, her whole story was that Diddy made her terminate 2 pregnancies, used to hit and abuse her a lot. She also talked about the jealousy from him, but also looked like she has some jealousy as well.
Telling me what year did you meet him?
I met him February 2014. Well, technically, the very first time I met him was September 2013 because I was at a fight in Vegas and I went to the Palms and he was hosting there. So I kind of met him there, but he says he remembered it vaguely. And then like 5 months later, I ran into him again in Miami, February 14th, 2014. So that's when we like officially met, I guess.
And what was that encounter like? When you met him and like you remember him, but he didn't remember you. Of course, everybody remembers Diddy. It's like,
yeah.
Diddy.
Well, I think he saw me and then he was like, this was at the Palms. He saw me and he asked who was I with, and I pointed to the guy I was with, and he kind of left me alone after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Diddy's Mr. Steal Your Girl. He always meeting a girl that got a man, and then he takes the girl from the man.
Okay. So nothing really transpired during that meeting in Miami?
No.
Okay.
Nothing. No. In Vegas.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was trying to holler in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
But then I told him I was with another man, so he kind of left me alone. But then I ran into him again February 2014.
Okay. And this was in Miami?
In Miami.
All right. And so what was that conversation like in Miami when you guys met up again for the second time and you weren't with a man? I don't think when we met in Miami, I don't think he remember me from Vegas. Okay.
He doesn't remember that.
Okay.
Until I told him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did he say? It was like serendipity or something?
He said he remembers it vaguely, but not really. So, but I don't know. I was with a friend. I was visiting a friend in Miami. She had moved to Miami from Nebraska, and I was visiting her. And we went out the night before I met him, so we were out all night. And me and her, we were with a couple of guys, and they were like, "Let's go to Puffy's house." So we were just like, okay, whatever. It was like 9 a.m.
Wow, Puffy's house at 9 a.m?
I mean, no one was there, but he was up too, though.
Okay.
And so we went to his house at like 9 a.m. And when I first walked in, I'm very like a chill person.
I can tell.
And so like I could walk into a White House and still be chill, but like inside I'm like screaming, oh my God. But when I came to his house, obviously I was kind of like, you know, I don't know, I guess like starstruck in a way, because I'm from Nebraska, so I'm not around none of this. So but I'm chill though. And he came. So when I came, he was like, "You not happy to see me? Oh. You at Diddy's house. That mean you made it."
The cockiness.
Yeah.
Okay, Diddy.
I was like, but yeah, that's. And
how old were you at the time?
I was 21.
21.
Or 22.
Okay. And you're how old now?
I'm 27.
Okay.
Maybe 22.
So a long time.
Yeah.
These dates are crossing over. We'll get into that in a second, okay? We're going to get messy in a second, all right? So you're at the house. You meet Diddy. So obviously he made you feel comfortable. Of course, we've seen it. Diddy seems to be this like very just kind of inspirational, always just kind of over the top, DJ Khaled kind of personality. And so I take it did you guys like hit it off during that initial encounter at his house, or did it take some time?
No, not really. We were there probably for like an hour, I say. And he was talking to the guys that we were with.
Okay.
They were artists, so like they knew each other.
Okay.
So he was like talking to them most of the time. And then by the time we left, I had already gotten the car. And then he like walked over to the car and asked for my number.
Oh.
And so I gave it to him.
How'd that make you feel? Diddy asking for your number?
Yo, chat, could y'all tell me I think she blocked my ass. Remember when we were talking about her like a while back? She blocked my ass. Like, nigga, the only way I could open her page is on incognito mode, dog. She blocked me. Because when I put her shit in Instagram, this one comes up. But her page not deleted. I thought it was deleted. I think we saw that before. Sorry, this page is not available, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. So she blocked me. But she has a story posted. I need y'all to go watch it. Because if she's Jane, go look at her story. It might tell us a lot if she's around the court. If she's around the court, Diddy's fucked. If she's Jane Doe, that's gonna be clipped for Diddy. I ain't gonna hold you.
It made me feel.
By the way, I think they should be back.
It made me feel good, kind of. I guess.
Really?
Bro, who is putting? Yo, this was not at a freak off, bro. Why y'all acting like this is Diddy at the freak off? Stop playing with me, man. What's up with y'all, bro? All right, cool. Let's see if there's any more updates in court. Okay, cool. All right, we do have some updates. Great. So, all right, they have a sidebar. The judge says, "Hey, listen, Mr. Phillip, that is the sex worker. You're still under oath." David Donaldson says, "Hey, can I show you a text message chain between you and Cassie?" So this is now cross, and looks like Xavier Donaldson, the person who we thought was just an appellate person in the case, he's doing cross. Is this accurate? Dan Phillips says yes. Combs, Donaldson says, so you were working for a service. Phillips says a male review show. And Donaldson says you were a manager, male strippers for women. He says yes. He says, was prostitution prohibited? He says that's correct. So apparently this guy was working as a male dancer, and he was working for a company that was hiring male dancers. They actually banned, and they said prostitution, you can't sell dick, okay? So this guy's admitting, yeah. So he says, so your job was to build it up. The guy said yes and no. He said, I'll go yes. His objection, that's from the prosecutor. He says, sustain. He said, did the company open fake businesses to optimize search results? He says, fake results. It was just fake addresses. It was just SEO. He says, so you went to optimize the lady's experience. The guy says, I have no idea what you mean, bro. What are you talking about? It's just our slogan. Somebody says, not a value judgment, but just an observation. It seems like the government and Cassie don't mind make Cassie look bad as long as it helps them destroy Diddy. Facts coming out at trial paint Diddy in a bad light, but also facts come out and make Cassie look bad. These embarrassing sex stuff is sick. I mean, well, the idea is that Cassie's a victim, so I don't know if it makes the victim looks bad. Like if somebody get R-worded, you don't be like, yo, the details of the R-word made you look bad. It's like, nigga, I got R-worded. I wasn't with it. What are you talking about? So I don't know if that actually holds up. Okay. Somebody typed up a fake response. They said, did Combs ever have sex with Cassie due to freak-offs? No, just another rapper that I could remember. So what's her name? It was Meek Mill. He's a man. Donaldson says, pause. Nah. See, this is somebody faking it. This is not a real tweet. It's not a real tweet. We're waiting on Inner City Press. Okay, people. We are sitting here waiting for the updates. What y'all ate for lunch? By the way, we've been live for 4 hours and 32 minutes. We started around noon today, and we've been live and covering the case ever since then. Tomorrow, we might start a little bit earlier than noon because it seems like they're going fast with shit. So probably we start like 10 a.m. We might not start immediately at 8. We'll start at 10. Then we'll have some backlog of tweets. We could do some other topics and kind of start this off correctly. All right. Let's see. Somebody said they had a fish plate. What's that? Yeah, cheesecake. No Diddy. Did we talk about Tory? We actually did talk about Tory. Okay, here we go. Said Cassie told you to say the name Black? Daniel says yes. Donaldson says, well, your boss told you someone wanted a black man stripper. Phillips says yes. Donaldson says, let me show you. AUSA says, this shouldn't be put on the screen. Take it off. That's what Donaldson says. So it looked like this might have been like some type of solicitation of how they were getting this guy and probably what that communication was. And looked like, you know, as I said, in pretrial, they must have had to agree what is able to be shown on screen because this is open court. Everybody's going to see it. And again, when you're thinking about people who are victims, you're going to embarrass some of these victims. Like you're going to make these people look crazy. And obviously the jury needs to see some of this stuff to make a decision, but does everybody else who's in court need to see Cassie naked having two dick stuff inside her, this and third, or whatever the fuck was going on? It looks like there is some type of sensibility on what could be shown and what should not be, right? So the AUSA did object it to say this shouldn't be put on screen. We don't know what it was, right? Because it looked like it might have been a video. He says, let me show you. We don't know if it meant a video, but it looked like that's what it was. Or maybe it may have been a picture. Right? May have been a picture. Gina talked about the abuse. She never talked about the freak offs. She never talked about Diddy having other men fuck her. What is this?
The fall of Diddy, and that man said that he said we coming to bring all the equipment in the bathroom. I'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, man, don't y'all take that xylophone in that bathroom? Well, why? Hold on, Diddy. Why are we coming in the bathroom to make beats? Like I'm confused.
Yeah, we both.
It's like when I saw the man talking about he came to.
My boy Shannon up there, he'd be like, yo, why are we going to the bathroom without a 20-year-old snow buddy? All right, let me see. There was somebody just on Shannon's show, I think. Shannon Sharp. I think it was the Club Shay Shay. And I think they were talking about Diddy. I can't remember. Okay, whatever. Very interesting, Chad. We're just still kind of waiting. We're going to start seeing some more movement here as we kind of approach 5 o'clock. It's 4:49. It's 11 minutes till 5. We're going to start seeing people kind of, there's other courtrooms in that building. We're going to start seeing people kind of file out, and we're going to start seeing some more motion, and outside's going to be pandemonium, even though, again, Diddy won't be released, right? But his family will be walking in and out that building. Okay. So we're kind of waiting on the update. Back to Gina, because where the hell is Gina's shit?
You didn't see him as like this old pervert asking for
No, not at all.
I know, because I see a 50-year-old dude, I'm like, at your age?
I mean, I knew
like,
he was older than me, but I've always hung out with older people in general, so it didn't make me. It didn't bother me.
Okay. Now, from that time of you meeting him and you give him your number, how long did it take before you guys actually made it official? Well, you made it official, but he was off, of course, doing other things. The way these dates are kind of.
We never okay, let's be official. We never ever had that conversation. We just kind of knew, like we just felt like we were together.
Okay. So you spent a lot of time together.
We did.
Okay. So you were at the house. Did you meet his kids? Wow. Okay. Now, when we spoke the other night, you said that things had gotten so serious that you became pregnant. Not once, but twice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When was the first
now I be thinking, I'm like, you're pregnant for who? The sex worker or Diddy?
time you became pregnant with Diddy's child?
The first time was October 2014.
Okay. So this was like, what, a year after?
No, not a year, but because I met him in February and then I got pregnant in October.
Oh, so the same year.
The same year.
Okay. And you mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, you're going to get an abortion, right? And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet. And then he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and I just and I wanted to. I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
was
wanted him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like, I don't want your money. I just want you to be nice to me.
Whether you decide to keep the baby or not.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be fair to say that he was an asshole about it? I mean, offering somebody $50,000 to abort a baby, whew, He must really want it gone bad.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, he was, like the first 4 months, he was really nice. But then after that, he started being an asshole. So like I say, like the first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me.
Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We do have another update. So they're now talking about, they said, so she was wearing a wig. They're talking about with Cassie. The sex worker says yes. Donaldson says, well, did she hand you money? And says, yes, she handed me $4,000. The question was, so this is before any oil rubbing, any baby oil rubbing. The guy says, correct. He says, she had on heels? And Philip says, yes, and dark glasses. Donaldson says, where did the money come from? His answer is from her hand. So it looked like they're kind of working on this theory, or Donaldson is as a defense attorney is saying, so you're saying that you got paid to do a sex act to a woman. The woman paid you. Diddy ain't pay you. The woman paid you. She paid you. She texted you. Diddy was just an observer. How are we saying Diddy's the one who orchestrated all this shit? So apparently, he got paid $4,000 to pee in Cassie's mouth and to dick her down. Don't seem like that much of a hard day at work.
It's not the first time we've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
There was an incident, of course, with Cassie, where reporters are saying that the police were called because they got into an altercation. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me some of the things that he would say to you.
He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one and she's the good one.
And he was with both of you guys at the same time.
Yeah. And at one point, like I was breaking out really bad with acne, and he would be like, he said this a few times to me. He was like, baby, why don't you go see a doctor or something? I don't date women with bumps on their face.
Oh.
Yeah, he would say that to me.
Take a drink. Relax.
The interesting thing about this entire interview, too, look at Tasha K, little lame ass. Tasha K, you could tell this woman, she might have some Stockholm syndrome, because she was even, anything Tasha K told her to do, she would do too. Take a drink. Oh. So maybe it's just, she's a little bit traumatized from maybe like being in control of relationships, that when she's told to do something, she just does it.
Okay. I can tell this is bringing up a lot. We have some tissues. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. So, of course, that is very, humiliating, especially when you love someone and they tell you that you're not good enough for them.
Mm-hmm. He would like call me names, like he would call me a hoe every single day.
Another tweet. We got an update, chat. We got another update. So Donaldson says, you were wearing a New York City Police Department uniform, right? They say, yes, I bought a New York Police Department t-shirt. It says, you took the oil off in front of Cassie. Daniel Phillips says, the oil, I took my clothes off. She says, it's my birthday. Okay? By the way, let me Google on the side, Daniel Phillip. Maybe we could get a picture of this guy. Apparently he's a sex worker. Give me 1 second.
A hoe.
Yeah.
Why would he call you? Not that he had a reason, but like in his mind, what do you think prompted him to call you a hoe?
Now that I think about it, I think.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We're getting to use some tissue. Oh, I don't want you messing up your makeup. Okay, you look gorgeous. Now let's talk about the physical abuse. If you're okay, are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So obviously you terminated baby one because you loved him.
Mm-hmm.
How long after you guys started dating is when did the physical abuse start?
The first time it ever happened, which was not even like that long into the relationship, because I met him in February, and then it was probably like the beginning of May, because we were at Meek Mill's birthday.
Okay.
He had like a mansion party, and we went, but while we were there, I was sitting here, and then Puff, and then Meek, but I was like covered with like a stand or something, like probably says like "Happy Birthday, Meek" or something like that, but it's like a little stand that like was covering me, because there was like a lot of cameras and stuff there. So it was like me, Puff, and Meek. Puff had like leaned forward to like talk to somebody, say hi or whatever. And so I turned over to Meek and I said, "Happy birthday." He put his hand out and he was like, "Thank you." So I reached his hand and shook it. And as I shook Meek's hand, he turned around and saw it, and he got so mad.
Wow.
And then we probably like stayed like 20 minutes after that happened. And then when we got in the car, he like grabbed my hair. We were in the one of those Escalade trucks.
Okay.
So I was sitting on this side, he was on the other side, and he like grabbed my hair and like cussed me out for doing that. He was like, "Why the fuck can I cuss?"
Yeah.
Oh, he was like, "Why the fuck you shaking his hand for?" Like just saying stuff like
it was
that. I
just
was
like
like
a jealous rage.
Yeah, I was like, I was just saying happy birthday, nothing else. I think he thought I was trying to be sneaky behind his back.
Interesting. Another quick update. Now we're talking about the freak off itself. So it looked like they were role playing. This guy came in with a New York City police shirt. He bought the t-shirt. This was the uniform. So Cassie told him it was her birthday. It probably wasn't her birthday. And he said, he took his clothes off. She said it's her birthday. Then Donaldson says, does it appear she's enjoying herself? So it looked like it was a video they were going to play in front of, like on the projector, of Cassie getting fucked. The guy says yes. He says, "What was your position?" He says, missionary. I was like, did that just happen? He said, "Did she ask you for a photo?" He says, I don't know. I don't know if Sean Combs asked for it. So it looked like he didn't answer the question as he asked. So that's why the judge says ignore that. So it looked like she's either watching a video. This sex worker is either watching a video, seeing a picture, or reacting to now the sex that they had at that particular time. So we're kind of getting into it where they're asking the sex worker, did you think Cassie was enjoying herself? Right? The guy says yes. What was your position? It was missionary. He said, did she ask for a photo afterwards? It's like, oh, I don't know. But he said, I don't know if Sean Combs asked for it. But it's like, the judge is like, that's not what he asked. So ignore that. Interesting.
Because I like reached over when he like leaned forward to talk to somebody else. So he thought I was trying to be sneaky.
And you were how old at this time?
I was 22 probably.
Wow. Okay.
And then he did this, so King Los was sitting in the back.
Okay.
And then when we got to the hotel, it got even worse. And he took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me. And then he like like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
Wow.
And the only person that every time me and he, like, we get into like fights like that, the only person that ever helped me was D-Rock. Everyone else just kind of just allowed it to happen and just like looked the other way.
So most of his entourage were, I guess, enablers.
Like his staff.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And they wouldn't say anything. They would just watch him.
No, not watch it, but kind of just walk away and just leave us alone and not really step in to stop.
Wow. Now, what made you stay? Because obviously there's baby number 2, and then there's more beatings, according to you, that happened after that, because that was just the first time. What made you stay?
Because I just thought, that he was only being like that because he loved me.
Get you a tissue. I don't want you messing up your makeup, okay? I'm sure you've shed enough tears about this, so.
Cause.
Thank you for the 10 super chats. Ack, how do you trust Drake to be truthful about the K-Dot fade when he lied to you about something as small as whatever? I'll read what you said. Chat, again, I never said Drake couldn't be lying. I'm saying everybody should put their sources out. At least I'm telling y'all the source. I'm saying if Drake is lying, tell me who y'all heard that from, that we could say, that I could go back to Drake and say, yo, Drake, this is what it is. Either you're lying or they're lying. Somebody's lying. That's it. Somebody's lying. That's all I'm saying, chat. Somebody is lying. So I understand you guys are like, oh, Ack, why do you believe him? It's like, all right, cool. Fuck believe in him. At least we're giving up where the source is coming from. How about y'all give up where it's coming from with y'all? Because there's a clear discrepancy, right? Now, if you just want to believe this random source that you don't know just because you don't like Drake, that's already the agenda I can't help you with, right? You're going to just believe somebody just because they're not going to give you no source. They're not going to give you anything. So it is what it is. I'll finish reading the donation, but it says, yeah, he lied something about knowing Stephon Diggs and Javante's former manager, associate Chris, who you spoke to on the stream. Somebody said, turn up the mic. My mic's low? Sorry there, by the way. Jen B. Hey, thank you, girl. She sent in 20 gifted memberships. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Low Life Braid says, yeah, Ack, we gonna see why Meek look like a baby deer in the pool when they expose the Diddy X-Files. Hilarious. Gino Batty says, yo, if you were a sex worker, would you be happy to clap Cassie at the expense of Diddy watching you? Like you're on The Voice and like he's one of the judges? Oh my God, that shouldn't be funny. Somebody says, Ack, do whatever you got to do to go to trial tomorrow. So if they show a sex tape you can react to, it's not like I'm going to have a video of the sex tape. What the fuck? Gifted Mind Frames, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And by the way, he gifted 5 earlier as well, so he gifted 10. Jay Mike, thank you for the gifted membership. King Buck, my boy. Anthony Arnold, my boy. Yeah, we are monitoring the stuff that's going on with Tory Lanez. Apparently, the facility is co-signing that he did get stabbed. They did have to rush him immediately to the hospital, and they called 911. Robbie Atkins says, Ack, I'll see you Thursday. I can't wait to see you Thursday, my brother. Appreciate you. Okay. Levy says, Ack, it doesn't matter where the source comes from if your source isn't reliable in the first place. So we're going to believe a source that we can't validate just because you don't want to believe somebody else. That's the problem. Again, I have no problem with saying, well, we don't know who the source is. They're like, oh, we heard from behind the scenes. Who's behind the scenes? I hate the lack of transparency. That's how you usually lie to people, okay?
I mean, I grew up watching my mom get beat by my dad, so that's all I knew. So I just thought it was normal, and I thought it just mean he loved me.
Do you know most domestic abuse victims
And chat with that, the judge has called it for the day. So this juror who is a sex worker will be coming back tomorrow. Says the judge says we will pick up tomorrow. They have ended court, so they'll be picking up bright and early tomorrow on the Diddy case. So that is all for today on the Diddy trial. By the way, people, if you guys are watching, I appreciate every single one of you guys who have tuned in. I want you guys to hit the follow button, the subscribe button, whatever platform. Make sure you tune in here for all the updates and remarks that we're going to be covering every single day. If I could get my hand on all the exhibits, I will. Obviously, some that showcase either Cassie in precarious positions or in freak-offs, which, by the way, just to let you know, do y'all remember when remember when 50 mentioned this, right? Let me not change off of this. 50 Cent, when he said he warned 50 Cent warned Diddy, Cassie, because he said people were trying to sell 50 sex tapes of Cassie when they were beefing. And he said he didn't want it. And he said he hit up Diddy and said, yo, Diddy, just to let you know, they trying to send me pictures of your girl. 50 Cent. Sell Cassie. They're trying to sell. Here we go. Oh, I can't find it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But it was Cassie footage. And he had admitted that, yo, they tried to sell him video. I think that was on the Breakfast Club. Or maybe it was on Big Boy. I think maybe it was on Big Boy.
Knocked down like Oprah Winfrey.
You see how Snoop's respect for Master P is?
Yeah.
With the Aaliyah sample? Man, you got certain guys that are their relationships made them so powerful, like in our business, that they can't be moved. Like Dre, I don't think you understand. Like, this is why you've never heard me say anything negative about him. You see what I'm saying? And also connected to like M, because M's our relationship. My Eminem is Dr. Dre is Eminem's. To Eminem to me is what Dr. Dre is to Eminem.
Yeah.
So to disrespect him in any way is just you out of pocket. You're not even following.
My bad. All right, I got it right here. I'm telling you, you can find stuff easier on Twitter than you can on YouTube. It's kind of sad. Look.
Check this out. On the up and up, the nigga Puff, like, he called, we should kick it on telephone and shit after the Mase shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow. Oh, you kidding me, yo?
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
all that. And I called the nigga, I said, yo, you fucking with this girl? Like, you like her like that? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm like, all right, I'm going to send you something. You look at it, you call me back. I sent him the photos, the pictures and everything. And the nigga called back and was like, yo, thanks, man. Yo, I really appreciate that. Yo, where you get these shits from? And I said, because they know, like, if something crazy is going on, if they send it to me, I'll make sure it get out there. Like, as far as this 50.com is concerned.
Yeah, yep.
And those other properties. So they sent it to me. But, I really kind of felt like those photographs was not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves away from a man and she upgrading, niggas be insecure. You know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like whoever the guy was she was with in the photos versus where Puffy's at. Because Puffy's, he ain't no slouch, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he been able to take advantage of all the suckers.
So where did it go wrong though? Because I know y'all was.
Okay, so This was a 2010, interview with DJ Woo Kid, who I believe was on Sirius at the time. And, yeah, very interesting. By the way, I think 50 has even chimed in today. You know what 50 said? Where is 50? 50 said, Diddy said, he put some statue like kind of peeing and said, Diddy said, in your mouth, shaking my head. Right? He said, I woke up early this morning. This is about Ye. So I woke up early this morning thinking, yo, you can't suck your cousin dick for 6 years and not be gay. Somebody got to tell Kanye. I'm not going to tell him, nope, it ain't my job. Okay? 50 is hell, man. 50 is hell. 50 Cent rapper lives at, what? I haven't spoke to this guy in 23 years. I hear my name is attached to this. I have no association, connection to gangs. I am not gang. And to you tough guys, happy Mother's Day. I don't know what this is. Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine 50's going to do a lot of trolling with Diddy. Supposedly he had also put up, what he put up? He put some shit up like, yo, he put up Farnsworth Bentley. It was like, yo, whatever happened to this guy? Yo, low key, 50 don't point a finger. He point an elbow. I don't know what y'all nigga talking about, man. I don't know where that nigga at, man. Look, 50 said, yo, if anybody knows what happened to this guy, LOL. Yeah, this nigga been quiet as hell. Farnsworth Bentley. Farnsworth Bentley Instagram. Let's see what he got to say. Yeah, he ain't posting a while neither. Yeah, it's quiet for him. Yo, his NDA must be blessed. Whatever Diddy paid him off, gotta be lit. Cause we ain't hear one thing. He don't do a shade post or nothing. He just go ghost. And anytime there's some new shit about Diddy, he go ghost. He don't say nothing bad, nothing good. He is out of there. Holy. Okay. We do got to update. Let me see. No. Do we have an update? No, this is not an update. Okay, so everybody should be leaving court. Give me 1 second. This was earlier. We didn't play this vlog, but this was before the beginning of the day. Look at Megan Cunniff trying to get it in with this thing. It's I should add, the reason why Inner City is able to tweet so much is that he's not tied to a news org that expects him to write daily stories and update the editors. He's totally independent. Oh, okay, whatever. Let me see. Where's this video from the morning?
Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press. Today, Monday, May 12th, 2025. Well, they said it would never come, but here it is. Today, the opening day, for real, of the U.S. versus Sean Combs trial. Jury selection was last week, and it was supposed to have, they were actually supposed to make the picks on Wednesday. Then it got pushed to Friday, which we also covered. And they did discuss videos and witnesses, but they did not pick the jury. Somehow, it was decided to do it this morning before opening argument. So it's supposed to be at 8:30. This is being shot right around 8 a.m. And we'll just have to see. We'll begin with Diddy, and we'll end with Diddy over by the courthouse in just 2 minutes from now, more or less. In any event, it should be, the trial begins after all the hoopla, after all the back and forth, after a request for delay, after a team of, I believe, 9 lawyers has been assembled for Sean Combs. And of course, there's the lineup, the so-called six-pack of white women, as described by Mark Garagos, who's not one of the listed members of the team, but was in the courtroom during jury selection. He's now, I believe, out in California on the Menendez brothers, so it appears. But he was there. After all of this, it began. So we'll get back to that. But there are, of course, other cases, I'm glad to say. One has to do with Robert Menendez, Bob Menendez, Senator Goldbard Bob Menendez. Goldbar Bob Menendez was convicted at trial in this very same courthouse in the SDNY. Actually, maybe in the same courtroom on the 26th floor. He's been putting off his sentencing for some time. First, he put it off for his wife's trial, which was delayed by her health issues. She was also convicted. Now he's asked to put it off again. He got a final week on Friday. On Friday, Judge Stein said June 17th. That's it. June 17th is the day in which he will be turning.
All right, people. All right. Chat, I think we're going to call it here for now. I think I'm going to be back on later tonight for the regular stream. What we're going to do is we're going to be doing these streams about Diddy, obviously, in real time. But, you know, it's going to hamper our ability to cover the rest of hip-hop and the rest of what we need to cover. So if I could try to do 2 a days, I will. Obviously, I know I still got a show to plan, and I'm kind of working on shit for that. I'm trying to get that done. But I don't want to take all the energy that's from this Diddy stream to go anywhere else. So I'm going to call it here. If anything, I know it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Maybe like later tonight, 10 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, I'll come back, take a little 5-hour break. I haven't eaten, I haven't done anything because I've been up with y'all. Okay, all I did this morning, I got my dogs out, and then I got on stream. So let me take a break my damn self, and then I'll probably come back on here. We won't get into too much Diddy stuff. We'll try to give you an update on Tory later and then cover some other topics that's non-Diddy related. Keep in mind, you guys should tune in every day here. Pretty much we're going to go live at 10 a.m. tomorrow, 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow, where we're going to be covering the trial for the remainder of the day, which is going to be like 5 to 6 hours. And if we can, we'll try to lump in the rest of hip-hop stuff in there. If not, we will have to do a different stream. Okay, chat? So just give me a little bit. I'm going to go, you know, come back to earth a bit, and I will see you guys hopefully tonight. If not tonight, I'm definitely going to see you guys tomorrow in the morning, but hopefully tonight. All right, chat. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys are watching on any different platforms, please make sure you guys tune in. I know I did say we're going to do an extra hour on Kick. We'll probably do it later tonight when I do come back, if you guys choose to come and watch me later again. Thank you guys for viewing. This is the first day of the Diddy trial. We are going to be in for a doozy. Trust, okay? First day. Tomorrow's going to even be wilder. We're going to have the sex worker back on the stand. He's going to be testifying to all type of stuff. We don't anticipate Cassie to be on the stand this week. Also, if you guys can, you know, a little bit of selfless promotion here, but go to Ticketmaster. I have my birthday podcast show that's coming up. I would love if you guys could show up and show out for the boy, man. Just go here, type in DJ Akademiks. DJ Akademiks birthday podcast. It's at Gramercy Theater, 2 blocks away from the Freak Off headquarters. Yeah, it's going down on Thursday, and you know, I'm hoping to stream everything, but I hope I could see you guys there. Okay, chat, let me go get some food. Actually, I got some jerk chicken in the fridge. I ain't gonna cap with you, so I'm about to go eat that, go play with my dogs for a little bit, and figure out a couple things for the show, and then if I can, come back at like 10 o'clock. All right, chat? Love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for all the support, even when they try to do a 20v1 versus me. And thank you guys for keeping me on task and on assignment as we kind of cover this Diddy trial, because again, that's kind of our bread and butter. Like we make sure when in times like this, we're showing up and showing out. So appreciate you guys. I'm going to see you guys later, most likely. If not, absolutely tomorrow at 10 o'clock. All right, chat. Love y'all. Peace. I'm going to see y'all.
So Diddy's case or trial has finally started. They're picking out the jurors and stuff. Do you guys feel like Diddy will be freed, or you feel me, he's cooked? I've been reading a lot of comments. A lot of people have been saying that Diddy's cooked. You feel me? I don't even know how I necessarily feel about Diddy. Because like at first everyone wanted him locked up. Then it's like people kind of feel bad for him now. Because I'm not gonna lie, the stuff he did to Cassie is 100% wrong. What he did to Cassie is 1,000% wrong. And people would never agree with it. But like, if you want to call it for what it is, Diddy was a freak. Okay, if people underage are involved, lock him up, throw him under the jail. But if people underage aren't involved, bro, Diddy is a freak, bro. Like his lawyer said, he's a swinger, bro. Like you feel me? He might want to watch his wife get piped out. He might, you don't know what did he want to watch. He wants to watch everything. He's a freaky man. He's a freak. That's why they're called freak-offs. Get all the freaks together. What do you think is going to happen? Baby oil with stuff in it that when it goes into your skin, you're paralyzed. Like, yes, that's what happens at the freak-off. there's obviously two parties to a Diddy party. There's the party, and then there's the party party. Have you ever been invited to the party party before? Probably not. But hey, man, let me know how you guys feel about Diddy. Do you want him locked up or do you want him free? Do you feel bad for Diddy? Even if Diddy gets freed, I think his career is done. No one's ever gonna work with him again. No brand's gonna work with him. You feel me? He's still gonna make money off. He probably has real estate like tenants and stuff, and probably like investments that we don't know about. So it's probably still gonna make money, but he's not gonna be making the same money as before. Like he's probably definitely at a billionaire status now. But hey man, it's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.